What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Of course, I am your host, Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. You know I got another banger for you, so go ahead, kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
South Carolina dominated Memphis. They look like they are going to be running it back for another national championship for Coach Don Staley, who brings back an absolute mob to Columbia, South Carolina. All things championship-wise in women's college basketball will be running through Columbia, South Carolina. Team is deep, no weaknesses truly, and even without Ashlyn Watkins, they still look like the best team in the country. And with her missing in action right now, and we're not really sure when she's going to be back, to be honest with y'all, I wanted to talk about a few players that I think played very well, showed some great flashes last year, were big-time contributors in crucial moments last season during the undefeated title run that could be relied upon more this season and take another step forward. So, before, we get into it, I just want to say, man, thank y'all so much for the support. Hitting that subscribe button, liking, sharing, comment. Y'all are real MVPs, man, just showing so much support. So I appreciate y'all. Much love. Now let's get into it. Now, the first player I want to bring up is Chloe Kitts, who was a starter last season, played some big minutes, had some humongous games, and had a double-double in this exhibition game versus Memphis. We've seen her putting in serious work in the offseason, working on the perimeter game, where I think we could see her potentially at the 3 or the 4. We know she can shoot the 3. She's been working on the handle, getting it more tight. It looked like she's benefited from being in the lab over the summer, man. We can definitely tell during the offseason she was working on the handle, working on the perimeter skills, shooting off the dribble, taking her man off the dribble, like attacking the basket, getting those paint touches. 6'2", guards multiple positions, has that tenacity, that dog in her, that tenacity that we love to see, that, has really helped Don Staley players succeed in college and at the next level. She's coming back big time. She started at the 4, right? We know that last season she would start at majority of their games and had a pretty solid season. Last season, Kitts finished with 9.1 points per game, 5.9 rebounds, 1.4 assists, while shooting a very effective 54.4% from the field. In the exhibition game against Memphis, she had 15 points and 13 rebounds on a very effective 7 of 11 shooting from the floor. Not wasting any opportunities, and it's obvious that they're going to need a go-to low-post option, but also a player that is experienced, that has been around this program, and can be a number 1 scoring option, and doesn't need a lot of shots to be effective. Kitts, I think, is a prime potential breakout star for the South Carolina Gamecocks. I thought that if anybody, I know that they're not big into, singular accolades and single player awards and stuff, but if anybody was going to be on the preseason AP All-American team, I thought it could have been Kitts representing South Carolina. I'm excited to see what she does this year. Fresh off of Natty and just looking like she is going to be that number 1 scoring option potentially. Now, South Carolina does it by committee. It could be anybody's night. We know that, but they know they can get a bucket if they go to Chloe Kitts. Next up, speaking of a bucket, the most electrifying player in the country last year, in my opinion, Malaysia Fulwiley. It's becoming impossible to keep her off the court. Now, I know the starting backcourt is back with Raven Johnson. Tahina Powell's decision to come back definitely shocked a lot of people, and they still have Breezy Hall as well. But Lay with the butter is absolutely electrifying. She had some big games in her freshman year. She was major off the bench and was definitely in the running for that 6th Player of the Year award. I think it's going to be dang near impossible to keep her off the court. Now, I don't know if she will start, obviously, because why fix something that's not broken? You got a really good veteran backcourt coming back. But she's too good not to keep on the floor, man. when you talk about, for one, the scoring ability, her in space, you can't stay in front of her. It's a walking mismatch. The first step is insane. She's got the best handles in women's hoops. Getting up and down the floor, the transition, she's elite. Finishing at the cup, she can shoot the three. She can get it off the dribble. She's got the mid-range, like we mentioned, an elite layup package, and she's very strong for her size, man. She is a low-key a bully down there. But layup package elite. You can just trust her, and with another year of experience under her belt, like the freshman year, we saw some ups and downs. She did look like a freshman at times, but this season, I absolutely think the quirks will be worked out, and she was good last season, don't get me wrong. She averaged 11.7 points, 2.9 rebounds, and 2.2 assists, shooting 43.8% from the field. She was effective last year. Now, coming off the bench, averaging double figures, she was a spark plug for this group in some big games. I think her minutes see an uptick this year. I think, we could see them play a little smaller at times, but you trust her with the ball in her hands. And she's going to have to wait another year to have complete control and to have the keys to this offense, but I think she's too good to keep off the court. I'm expecting her to have a big year in year two. A player that Dawn Staley has donned a generational talent, man, and to have her coming off the bench is an extreme luxury. She would start on probably 99% of the rest of the rosters in the entire nation. So to have her coming off the bench is a huge luxury, but watch out for Malaysia Fulwiley. Just silky smooth, embarrassing defenders, a walking highlight every time she touches the ball. Seats are empty because people are standing up just mesmerized at what she's going to do next. Her co-freshman last season, who's going to be a sophomore as well, Tessa Johnson, man. When you talk about clutch and building confidence late in the season, 19 points as a freshman off the bench in the national championship game. Now, we know Fulwiley won SEC MVP, and then Tessa Johnson had her breakout moment, too, in the Final Four and the national championship game. When you talk about, first of all, versatility, probably other than Pow, the best three-point shooter on the team. Knockdown, beautiful jumper, fluid, nice rotation. Looks like it's going in every time. She's been putting in some work. She went to the Nike Academy and really showed out. She's definitely been in the lab. Then you talk about defense. At 6'1", they had her playing the 2 through the 4 last season. She's strong. She can guard multiple positions. She's pesky on the ball. She's good on the boards. And she really opens up the floor with her three-point shooting as well, man. So I think that's another player that's definitely going to be tough to keep out of the game, man. This is going to be they're an overflow of talent. This is a very good problem for Dawn Staley to have. The future and the present are meshing right now. But last season, Tessa Johnson definitely stepped up for the Gamecocks in some huge moments. Last season, Tessa averaged 6.6 points per game, 1.7 rebounds, 1.1 assists, and shot 44.7% from the field. Fulwiley will get the headlines, but Tessa Johnson is definitely one of those glue players, hard hat, lunch pail type of player that's going to come in and do whatever the team needs to win. So definitely excited to see how her role potentially expands with this roster coming into this season as well. And then last but not least, with Ashlyn Watkins out, Sanaya Fagan has been entered into the starting lineup. And you talk about a veteran who's been around this program for a long time. South Carolina has been known to have an elite low post focal point down low in the paint. Fagan could be that answer this year. Like I said, she's been around. She's a veteran. She's super skilled. Different from like past bigs, Aaliyah Boston and Camila Cardoso. More of a late bloomer. But she definitely is very skilled. Can hit the mid-range a little bit. Back to the basket. She's really effective. Has a go-to move, which I think Cardoso lacked last year. Soft hands. Great touch. Has a intimidating defensive presence. And moves really well. I think especially at her size, man, she doesn't get enough credit for her lateral movement and how she can get up and down the floor. Last season, she started some games. When Camilla went out, she played big in a few games. Fagan averaged 6.7 points, 3.8 rebounds, and 1 assist, and shot an impressive 55% from the field. Now, the senior at 6'3", like I said, a veteran, calming presence that understands the expectations of this program, that has been around Coach Dawn Staley, that understands that, you really have to, one, fight every game. Every game. She's going to battle on the boards. She's high energy. I think she's earned an expanded role, to be honest with y'all. She's looked good with the team. Whenever they've called her number, she can absolutely deliver, and she has in the past. So with Ashlyn Watkins out and no really determining date on when she will be back, I definitely think she is a real prime candidate to see a lot more minutes and to see an expanded role, and I don't think this team skips a beat. Of course, Ashlyn Watkins is a very talented basketball player. She's a potential player of the year candidate, in my opinion, and a breakout star for South Carolina. But even without her, this front court is absolutely loaded. Miriam Dowda coming back, Sakima Walker, Joyce Edwards is joining the fold, Adele Tack. So they have plenty of bodies that can definitely get the job done down low. And I still think even without Watkins, this team absolutely has the deepest front court in the nation. But that is my breakdown for today. Y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Holler at me. That's a wrap for us. For all the latest and the greatest, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Stay up with the latest of the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Follow us on social media at Brandon Lee TV. Until next time, y'all, we out.